With me now, former U.S. diplomat Jim Jatras. Jim, why is it so hard for some people just to follow the laws that we already have on the books? SB 4 wasn't unconstitutional. It seems like a common sense bill that lawmakers shouldn't have even had to come up with.
I think it will ultimately be upheld. I mean, Texas isn't the problem in this country. There you have the governor and the state government on the right side. And let's remember, these states, these cities, these are local jurisdictions, are simply legal creatures of the state. I don't think they will be successful in resisting this. This initial round was simply essentially to try to get an upfront determination on its constitutionality. I think when this goes to trial, the state will win. The real problem is in states like California, cities like San Francisco, where the state or city government are opposed to the federal government, and direct action by the feds needs to be taken.
And what do you think about sanctuary cities? I mean, give us your definition of it. My definition of it, a sanctuary city benefits criminal illegals the most.
Absolutely. Now, of course, you always have the problem that if you have somebody accused of a serious crime, do you want him really released, actually deported, which puts him on the street in a foreign country, and then maybe he comes back again? Look how many of these people keep coming back. So you want that person incarcerated. You want that person executed if they've committed a murder. But as far as the larger question of deporting people, yes, absolutely. There is no right of states and cities to thwart federal law on the deportation of illegal immigrants. And that's why I think it's time for the Justice Department to stop going easy on them with attempts to simply hold up money, which I think simply allows these cities and states to look like they're the victims of the feds. I think there's an available remedy from the federal side to start charging with criminal offenses the police chiefs, the commissioners, the mayors of these cities that are blocking enforcement of federal law.
Well, we know that Mayor Rahm Emanuel in Chicago, he's playing the victim card right now, threatening a lawsuit against the Trump administration because he's angry because the Trump administration is threatening, we're not going to give you money if you're going to label yourself a sanctuary city. Does he have a case?
I don't know if he has a legal case, but I think what he's able to do is use his own citizens that he's endangering with this sanctuary policy as kind of like human shields. Oh, the big bad federal government wants to stop our law enforcement funds. That victimizes all of our citizens. But I think there's a better remedy. You know, there's a section of the U.S. Code, 18 U.S.C. 1071, concealing person from arrest. Whoever harbors or conceals any person for whose arrest a warrant or process has been issued under the provisions of any law of the United States so as to prevent discovery and arrest is committing a crime that is liable to fines and up to a year in jail. And what I'd like to see the Justice Department do and DHS do is to go to these cities and say, look, we know you have this person in jail here. We want him. We're sending marshals over to pick him up. If you don't turn him over, we're going to file a federal complaint against you for a crime for harboring this fugitive. I think that they did that in a few cases. This resistance would collapse pretty quick.
You know, I'm not really familiar with this, but isn't that what they used to do? Wasn't that just...
No, not at all. No.
No,
What they're
not
doing
recently,
now is they're
but
filing,
like many years ago.
Yeah.
Not like under the Obama
I'm not aware
term.
they were because... No, I'm not aware that they are because, let's face it, this whole sanctuary concept is relatively new because we haven't had much of a drive for enforcement from the federal authorities. And back in maybe the old days, in Eisenhower's day, nobody ever thought that the local jurisdiction would try to thwart federal law enforcement like this. This is a fairly new thing where these cities and states think they can override federal law through whatever their local preferences are to the detriment of their own citizens.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was aware of it was in 2013, I believe it was. I got a press release, and it was about how ICE had released thousands, almost like 30,000 criminal illegal immigrants in my community, and I lived by a border in Arizona, and it's just they wouldn't give you any information why they released them. It is really bizarre how they handle the whole immigration issue. And there's a new report out, and this report is stunning. It says that 23% of all federal prisoners are illegals. And this type of information is very hard for people to get.
Exactly right, and I think that gives the lie to the propaganda we get all the time from the other side that aliens, especially illegal aliens, are even less likely to commit crimes than Americans. First off, even if that were true, it's still no excuse for allowing people to come into the country illegally, some portion of whom are actually going to be criminals as well. But it just stands to reason that that people who are already lawbreakers to some extent because they've illegally entered our countries might also have a disproportionate tendency to engage in criminal activities. And of course, we know this from the crackdown now, for example, on the MS-13 gang, where we have massive gangs here in the United States that are almost entirely composed of people from outside the United States, a large portion of them here illegally.
Yeah, this report says a lot. And like you pointed out, I mean, of course, there are people that are coming to this country looking for a better life. But again, we have laws, and our laws need to be enforced and respected. And this report shows what's going on. There are bad people coming into this country that were committing crimes probably in their country, committing crimes here. And these are just the ones that got caught. So it's good to know what's actually going on out there, and this message needs to get out there because, again, people are just making this seem like it's a racist effort by the Trump administration to enforce our immigration laws, and it is not racist. Thank you for your time.